Smashing Machine is from writer and director Benny Safdie, one half of the Safdie brothers who brought us good time and uncut gems. A star vessel for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in a pivotal moment in his career. As you all probably know, he's been spending the last forever playing the same role in mostly mediocre blockbusters. And that was working great for him until it wasn't. People were finally getting sick of his shtick. There was some stuff about him ruining Black Adam with his demands to not lose a fight despite the fact that he was playing a supervillain. Then there was some stuff about him showing up hours late for work on Red 1 and insisting that he pee in water bottles. His goodwill was pretty much spent. Batista delivers his lines with sincerity and the sympathy of somebody who really doesn't want to be doing this to his family. Between this and John Cena and Peacemaker, wrestlers lately have been really acting circles around The Rock. And so after the nightmare that was the Red 1 production, he put aside all that big, egotistical movie star crap and did the unthinkable. Signed on to an A24 movie. From the director who, along with his brother, proved that Robert Pattinson and Adam Sandler can actually act. And to keep up with that tradition, Josh Safdie is coming out with another movie this year starring... moving on. This is a biopic of UFC pioneer Mark Kerr. And unlike the work of the Safdie brothers together, it does not feel like a panic attack. It's a sports story with its highs and lows for its character. It follows his career between 1997 and 2000, while also dealing with his addiction to painkillers and relationship with his girlfriend played by Emily Blunt. But unlike The Iron Claw, A24's other wrestling movie, it's as much about the fighting career as all that personal stuff. And also it's not as tragic. So can The Rock act? Yes, it turns out he can when he actually tries. And he seems to be sold on going down this path for at least some time. He's not even letting the low box office return for this movie get him down. You've seen The Rock, now get ready to see Dwayne Johnson. The movie itself is an interesting enough film. It's not on the same level as the Safdie brothers work together, or The Iron Claw for that matter. It's a semi-Oscar bait movie, but it's a decently made one that delivers the usual goods without ever doing anything truly amazing. It's a standard sports drama, but it's The Rock's standard sports drama, so that should count for something. But outside the idea of it redefining his image, which has pretty much dominated the conversation around this, it is still a very well-acted, decently made film. It might not be a must-see, I hate to admit that since, well, already nobody's seeing it, but it's a good time for what it is worth.
You are invited to join Hubble.
Good boy.
I think you're a good boy, too.
Wilson.
Can you teach us how to work a can opener?
Barbara Ann.
Can we just talk about how pretty I am?
Nellie.
I'm not shaking because I'm nervous. I'm shaking because I'm excited.
And Shep.
It may look to you like people are in charge. You don't see us picking up their poop.
Good boy.
Good Boy is the feature debut from director Ben Leonberg, who also wrote it with Alex Cannon. It stars Leonberg's dog, Indy, as himself. How's that for a draw for this review? Not only is it horror, one of the more popular genres in film right now, but now there's a cute doggy. Keep watching this video for the puppies. But yes, it is a horror movie, from the dog's perspective. In it, his owner, who's suffering from some fatal disease, takes some time away to move into his dead grandfather's house in the middle of nowhere, where Indy starts seeing some creepy stuff. Once again, it's entirely from his perspective. The camera's always at his level, and for most of the runtime they don't even show the human characters' faces. They're like the adults in Peanuts, except we can actually understand what they're saying. They managed to shoot the entire movie around the dog. They had a behind-the-scenes feature afterward that they said was only for theaters. Hey, that's a good draw for you to support it there. And they said that it took 3 years to film this with him. And it worked. They got a full-length horror movie where he's the star. I mean, it is a short one. Nah, scratch that. The Naked Gun reboot was a short one. This one is 1 hour and 12 minutes. And they know enough about directing Indy to make him into an actual character. Much has been said about how expressive this guy is. While watching this, I may have suspected that it was more because of directing than anything he actually did, and the behind-the-scenes stuff kind of confirmed that. A lot of it is the Kuleshov effect, or the idea that the audience will associate any emotion to a blank expression depending on context. They thankfully didn't traumatize the dog, and there's nothing they did with him that's on the level of that one scene in Anatomy of a Fall. If you saw the movie, you know which scene I'm talking about. Thank God for that. But this is definitely the better achievement in animal acting. Anatomy of a Fall had one scene that's admittedly more convincing and disturbing than any individual shot in this movie, but they managed to make this good boy show convincing emotion throughout the entire movie. And even without that, it's still a well-made horror movie with quite a few good scares. It's scary in that supernatural type way. It's rated PG-13, but it never feels toned down. Independent horror doesn't tone down shit, especially ones distributed by Shudder. Remember when they released In a Violent Nature unrated? This isn't about blood or gore. This is about things that go bump in the night. But what puts it above other movies with supernatural scares and atmosphere is the emotional element. I'm not going to spoil if it's in the way that you have all feared, but it does get heart-wrenching at the end. It deals with depressing themes in a way that's kind of the go-to cliche that people use to describe art house horror, but this perspective makes it feel fresh. Picture if Courage the Cowardly Dog was an emotional A24 horror movie. This movie makes its dog perspective more than just a gimmick. It's a creepy and emotional horror movie that directs its first star to acting perfection. You think it's impressive that Dwayne Johnson was able to give a legit good performance? Here's something even more surprising. It's a great movie. Be sure to stay for the behind the scenes stuff. It shouldn't be that hard. The credits are short and play over footage of the dog. There's some interesting stuff in there that'll make you appreciate it more.